Hey guys, it's Daryl. It's Wednesday. I'm just wolfing down my breakfast, Chobani. No, I'm not getting paid for that. I wish I was. Um, and then I'm getting ready. I gotta go shovel the driveway so I can get out of here and go get to the gym. It's about 3:45. I want to talk about the worst Christmas, one of the worst Christmases I've ever had in my life. Probably the worst Christmas, the crack Christmas, crack cocaine Christmas. This was about 20 years ago when I was driving a truck for New York Times. I was a Teamster driver delivering newspapers down in Manhattan, and I was using a lot of crack cocaine at this time. I hadn't yet gotten addicted to heroin. This was probably about 1995, 1996. I would get paid on Thursday. All right. I back then I was making about 13, 14 an hour, which now would be about, I don't know, probably about 25 or 30 an hour. I was making about 35,000 a year. Now that would be about 60, 65,000 maybe. It was good money. It was great money back then in 95, let's say. All right. So I don't know if I told you guys this. Okay. My the crack came first. I would spend almost that whole $500 every week on crack, right on Thursday, and then have to go to work the next day. Uh, it was an insanely terrible life to live. How close I came to heart attacks, I have no idea. Let me tell you about this Christmas. I'll tell you about the bills some other time. All right, so it got closer and closer to Christmas, and of course, I would buy these little, I'd buy $5 little gifts here or there, but the majority of my money I would spend on crack every Thursday night. I would buy cocaine at a bar in my work truck coming back from New York. I'd stop at a local bar, the Rainbow, and they sold 16ths right over the bar, right in public. They got busted. Uh, they got busted. I think they found 2 kilos at this bar, and it didn't matter. There was 100 places I could buy this anyway. And I would actually go back to the garage high, uh, all jittery on coke, and then I would smoke crack later as soon as I got out of work. So it was a stupid, terrible existence. I didn't even have a car at this time. I was making great, like now. It was like if I was making $70,000 a year right now, I didn't even have a car, my heat shut off. How is that possible? Well, crack cocaine. It got closer and closer to Christmas. I had no gifts for my family yet, none. It was Christmas Eve. It came on a Thursday, the day I got paid. So this is my big plan. And addicts, not only do they lie to everybody else, they lie to themselves the most. And I truly believe that I was going to go out, and there was this whole strip of stores right next to the garage where where I bring my truck back. And so I walked up there after work, had my paycheck, I got all my money, and I went to a couple stores. It was one of those green stamp stores or like catalog stores I remember going into, and the place was packed. And of course, I was like, oh, I can't do this now. I was all jittery. I had already started getting high. And I went to maybe one other store, maybe Kmart. Walked in, walked out. Got on the bus and went home. No gifts. I met this girl on the bus that was from my neighborhood, another cocaine user. Um, Long story short, I ended up going home, and the combination of just there was no sex involved with this girl, but in my head, using cocaine with a female was about as close as I came to sex back in those days. So between the coke and partying with this girl, I just kept going. I kept going all night long. Uh, Probably about 3 in the morning until I spent my very last dollar. Okay, Christmas morning, no presents. I'm due at my family's house at noon for Christmas dinner. My family's everybody's coming with gifts for dinner. I have nothing. I have no sleep. I have no money. My family knows I get paid. I got paid on Thursday. I mean, I was working hard, driving the truck every day. How can you have no money or no gifts? Uh, to be honest with you, right now, I don't quite remember what I told my family. I told them I couldn't come. I was so ashamed and embarrassed. Uh, I just said I can't come, and not to mention I had no sleep at all. It was the worst feeling of the world. That girl, to go back, that girl ended up leaving once the coke and money was gone. She left about 3 in the morning. You know, that was it. Just used, we just people just coke addicts just use each other for drugs. Yeah, sex isn't important when you're using crack. It's in your mind, but the drugs are far more important. Um, my family, my fantastic family, who has forgiven me and trusts me now, and I'm almost gonna cry, has taken me back in. The best family in the world. They told me to come over anyway. They didn't care that I didn't have gifts. They didn't care that well, I mean, they cared, but they wanted me there. They just wanted me there. And they came and picked me up. I made a few gifts. I also delivered paperback, like some hardcover books. So I had some around the house, some stuff I had taken from work, surplus, and I brought it along. I couldn't even wrap it as a makeshift gift. I don't even know if that just made it more pathetic and worse. Um, just bringing stuff from my house as gifts. It was the worst feeling. I'll never forget it. It was low. It was a low. Um, you know, I I can't even put it into words. My family didn't mean enough to me. And not to mention just the sacredness of Christmas, when the one time of the year when we all got together, and the drugs were more important to me than any of that. It's just like something else took over, you know? And as it got closer and closer, as the drugs wore down and the money went away, it was in the back of my head that, I didn't want to I didn't want the buzz to stop because I would have to face reality of what I had done. Um, you know, and then, when that sun came up, it was like a fucking sledgehammer. It was such a terrible feeling. I pissed through a whole paycheck, $600, and had nothing to show for it on Christmas Day. That was bad. That was one of the worst feelings I ever felt in my life. Um, yeah. So life, when I tell you guys I'm happy every day now, this is why. I could have a bad Christmas, or we might get a little argument or something, but man, it doesn't even come close. It doesn't even compare to the hell that I lived back then. And it makes me so much grateful for what I have now. Uh, all right, that's all. I see my memories running down too. So you guys have a great Wednesday. It's clean and sober.